Welcome to In24 Headline News in the Heart of It. I'm Debbie Deere, your anchor for today. Before we begin, here's Christina with a short hello.
Thanks, Debbie. Hey, everybody, it's Christina Laya with your local forecast coming up. It is a long weekend. I'm also teasing your Valentine's Day forecast. Stay tuned. That's coming up, and I've also got some global highlights on the way.
Thanks, Christina. Now let's look at the top news of the hour. On February 1st, a Red Deer mother reunited with her 20-year-old son who was detained in an isolation facility upon arriving in Calgary from Phoenix, Arizona. Rebecca McDonald went viral on social media after she posted a video of her crying after her son Ethan was taken to a quarantine facility early morning, January 31st. According to McDonald, her son took an antigen test before flying back, but the border officials had told her that the test was, quote, not accurate. Amid tears, McDonald said in her video that her son was taken away to the isolation center against her consent. She took to social media to share her story. Let's take a look.
And he is being detained because they didn't accept his test. They're saying it's not accurate, and they are wanting to take him to a quarantine facility. They won't let me talk to him. They won't let me see him. They won't come and talk to me. The Border Patrol services say that they have nothing to do with it. They won't tell me who has to do with it. They won't tell me who's picking him up. They won't tell me where he's going. They won't tell me anything. And they say he doesn't have a choice.
Ethan McDonald was taken to an undisclosed isolation facility to take another PCR test. When the results returned negative on February 1st, he was released, and McDonald picked him up from the airport. In a subsequent Facebook video, the mother voiced her outrage against the government's COVID-19 regulations, saying, quote, there is zero accountability. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg called Australian lawmakers last week to discuss new media rules. According to the Australian lawmakers, Zuckerberg attempted to persuade them to change the new policies, but ultimately failed. Australia plans to introduce a law that would require Facebook and Google to pay media companies for their content as it drives traffic to their websites. Here's a fun little story. Researchers have developed a backpack prototype that allows wearers to charge their devices as they move. The backpack converts mechanical energy from objects in motion, such as human movement, to electricity and powers electronic devices. Although the backpack is not ready yet, researchers believe that once it reaches its fullest potential, it will be great for those who go on long-distance hiking and traveling of all sorts. The Association of Community Organizations for Reform Now, also known as ACORN, is calling on the federal government to end a tax loophole in the Income Tax Act, which lets Canada's largest landlords or real estate investment trusts off from paying taxes. It's been over 2 months now since non-essential businesses have been forced to shut down in Toronto due to the pandemic, and some business owners have had enough. Dozens of Toronto businesses plan to open next week despite the current lockdown orders. The businesses, which can be found on weareallessential.ca, are participating in an initiative to end the lockdown and continue operating. More news is on the way, but first, let's check in with Christina and what she has for the weather.
Thanks, Debbie. Well, here comes your local forecast for beautiful Toronto, everybody. Those in Southern Ontario, you can most certainly get out there and enjoy those beautiful conditions, and that is very different from those who are braving the cold in Northern Ontario. My friends in Timmins, Ontario, that's Northeastern Ontario, by the way, we are still dealing with extreme cold warnings in effect for several days ahead. We're looking at temperatures really within that range, minus 40 degrees to minus 50 degrees. That ridge of cold Arctic air is staying in place for at least a few more days, but that is not what we're dealing with in Southern Ontario. For the rest of our Friday, we're dealing with some more flurries they're going to taper off by the time those evening hours come around. You're seeing that building cloud cover, a high of -7 degrees, a low of -13 degrees with a lot of cloud cover as we get to those overnight hours. And for our Saturday, we are waking up to flurries for everybody in Toronto, a high of -8 degrees, and then your low of -10 degrees as we head towards those evening hours. If we do see some flurries, have no worries. You're not going to be out there shoveling snowfall because we're just looking at a few centimeters of accumulation. Ready to warm your hearts, everybody, for Valentine's Day? For those celebrating with your amore or just celebrating self-love, and as promised, I dressed up all in red for all of you. Your high, -5 degrees, your low, -12 degrees. You're starting to see that building cloud cover. So for Sunday, everybody, if you want to get out there and enjoy a beautiful walk, you're not going to need your sunglasses. We're not going to be experiencing a lot of sunshine. And now for our holiday Monday. By the way, Monday is a provincial holiday in Canada. So those in Ontario, you get a day off. -4 degrees, 60% chance of that rainfall. We're really, once again, within that seasonal daytime range, which means that it's not that cold for snow. So if we see any precip, it might be some rain. Your low of -13 degrees as we head towards those overnight hours. But do you know where we are seeing snowfall and extreme cold warnings? I mentioned Northern Ontario, but pretty much all of Canada is dealing with these extreme cold conditions, including the prairies. Now, our very own viewer, Trevor Baller, got out there and braved the cold to send me this video from Edmonton, Alberta during the week, -32 degrees Celsius without the wind chill factor. And yes, these freezing conditions are going to remain in place for the next few days. I'd love to see what it looks like where you are, wherever you are around the world. Send me your videos for a chance to be broadcast, and I promise to give you a shout out on environment.
Welcome back to In 24, In the Heart of It. I'm your host, Debbie Dare, and you're watching Headline News. In an open letter, 1,080 physicians, researchers, and advocates came together as a movement called Doctors for Justice in LTC to call upon the Ontario government to immediately end the violations of people's human rights in LTC homes. According to the letter, the government has not changed its approach to LTC or long-term care homes since the first wave in 2020. The Globe and Mail reported 80% of Canada's COVID-19 deaths have been in long-term care homes. The letter states lack of transparency as an issue. Family members or the public are unaware about staffing levels and infection control standards in a LTC home unless revealed by a whistleblowing family, caregiver, or an anonymous frontline worker. There are differing facts between the home's administration and the provincial government. In a recent update, Ontario's Minister of Education posted that all schools will return in-person learning on February 8th, with the exception of schools in Toronto, Peel, and York, which will reopen February 16th. Previously, an open letter signed by more than 100 Canadian doctors was sent out to all premiers and ministers of education, urging them to reopen schools. In the letter, doctors said that transmission among students is low and, quote, teachers are not at a higher risk of infection or disease. In honor of Black History Month, In24 is proud to present a special feature, Black Excellence, that pays tribute to the stellar achievements of Black community leaders and changemakers. This week, we take a look at after-school programs created by Black women in STEM that mentor young Black girls in science and technology-related industries. Students have shown that historically, Black girls are marginalized in the educational system, and such exclusion often precludes girls from pursuing careers in STEM, even if they're passionate about the field. According to a survey by the U.S. National Assessment Governing Board, 35% of girls in the 8th grade express an interest in a job in science. One of the programs is Black Girls Do STEM, founded by scientist Cynthia Chappell. The program seeks to address and eliminate the gender and racial gap in the STEM workforce, where Chappell herself has felt culturally isolated. The Black Girls Do STEM provides a safe and nurturing space for young Black girls to foster a curiosity in math and sciences and confide in positive role models who look like them. The group operates a STEM Saturday Academy, a free program for girls in grades 6 to 9. The Academy runs workshops in topics including biotechnology, engineering design, math challenges, and cosmetic chemistry. We also spotlight 2 other women-led organizations empowering young Black girls in STEM, including Black Girls Code and Girls STEM Institute. Be sure to check out the full feature on in24.ca with the production code A0575. And stay tuned for other ways Black innovators are making a difference in our Black Excellence series throughout the month of February. Before we continue with the next headline, we'd like to issue a trigger warning that the following story contains graphic violence and police brutality. Viewer discretion is advised. Body camera footage from June 5, 2020 depicts police officer D. Clausen ordering his police dog to bite a 14-year-old suspect who allegedly tried to set a Burger King outlet on fire. The video shows Clausen warning the juvenile suspect that he will enter with the dog and, quote, "You will get bit."
Come out or I'm gonna send the dog! I can see him right there. You will get bit! Okay, I'm not gonna deploy him.
Despite pleas from the teen, Clausen entered the premises with the dog, pulled the suspect off the counter, and ordered the canine to bite him as officials handcuffed the suspect.
Get on the ground! Here! Hit! Boy! I was working your help! Please! Stop fighting the dog! Stop fighting! Stop fighting the dog! Please!
In an interview, Clausen said that he was told the suspect held scissors. However, another officer had told him the teen dropped them before Clausen entered. The Salt Lake City Civilian Review Board has examined the case and ruled Clausen's action as, quote, excessive force. This case went under internal review, along with 27 other times that a police dog has bit a person since 2018. As a result, police department's canine program has been suspended indefinitely. Thank you for watching In24 Headline News. Remember to download the MSMU UMote app and visit in24.ca for the latest stories. And be sure to follow us on social media to stay in the heart of it. If you want to submit a story or interact with the In24 team, you can find us all on MSMU Social Net. Until next time, I'm Debbie Dare from Internet News. Thanks for joining us today.